Hello everyone, how are you? My name is Miktar Pula, and today I'm going to be your spoken English teacher. And today we're going to talk about navigation. Are you guys excited? I hope you guys are doing well. Alright, so first thing we have is an icebreaker. Okay, so now we're just going to take a quick 1 minute for each question. Alright, so our first question is, if you traveled back in time, who would you like to meet? For me, if I traveled back in time, I would love to meet, I don't know. I would love to meet Mahatma Gandhi. I would love to see the different methods and ways he used for Indian freedom. And I think it's really interesting learning about Indian history. So, why don't you guys find a partner next to you and take about 1 minute to kind of, talk to each other and see if you traveled back in time, who would you like to meet? All right, you guys have 1 minute. Ready, go. All right, about 30 more seconds. Three, two, one. All right, that's good. Thank you. All right, time for our second icebreaker question. All right, Jess, you can maybe talk to a new person, find a different partner, and talk about what is the best ice cream flavor in the world. Ooh, I know this is a very tough one. For me, I think the best ice cream flavor in the world is probably mint chocolate chip. I've always liked mint and I like chocolate, so putting those together makes it my favorite ice cream flavor. All right, you guys can spend about a minute. Just talk to each other and see what is the best ice cream flavor in the world. You guys have 1 minute again, all right? Ready? Let's go. All right, 30 more seconds. Three, two, one. All right. Sorry, guys. All right. Now let's move on. I hope you guys enjoy this icebreaker. All right. So this is the table of contents, and this is what we're gonna talk about. All right. The first one is help. What do you do and what do you not do if you're lost, right? Because right now we're going to be talking about navigation and what happens if you get lost. So that's kind of what we're going to talk about, what you guys should do and what you guys should not do. The next thing we're going to talk about are the different tools, like what can you use? What are some different tools you can use to help you get to other places? The third one are quick practice sample questions. And the last one is homework, so kind of a small and fun writing assignment. All right, let's go. So first thing we're going to talk about is what is navigation, right? So navigation is how you get from one place to another using like maps, directions, your phone, compass, asking other people for help, and many more, right? So it's how you get from one place to another, like if you go from your house to your friend's house, and maybe if you go to the grocery store or a restaurant, right? That's all navigation. How you get to other places. All right, so first thing is help. What do I do and what do I not do? So this is kind of a scenario, right? So imagine that you are at a temple and you get separated from your family, right? So let's see. What do you do and what do you not do? All right? So first thing is, one thing that you should do is ask someone for help, right? You want to approach someone in a polite manner and politely ask them if you can call your parents, right? So if you're at a temple and you get lost, you want to approach someone with caution. So you still want to be extremely careful, right? Because, you want to be safe. And just politely ask them if you can call your parents. You can also find the main office or the main place, which is the front of the temple, and ask for your parents. So usually if you're at the front of the table, you can ask if you can call your parents, and most likely they will help you find your parents. But yeah, that's something that you should do. Be polite and ask someone, approach them politely and ask if you can use their phone or something to call your parents, or approach the front desk or the main office, so at the front of the temple, to ask your parents. So this is something what you should not do, right? You should not be panicking, right? It's going to make you even more scared. So just stay calm, think smartly and wisely, right? You want to approach people with caution, right? So you have to be extremely careful, right? Because you still want to be safe and you don't want to, make any mistakes, and just stay calm, think wisely, and before you know it, you will find your parents in no time. So don't worry. All right? So now I want you guys to, now that we talked about what we should do and what we should not do, can you guys quickly please take again 1 minute to just revise what we just talked about, right? So what we should do, what we should not do, and how to be safe, okay? How should you approach someone when you are in trouble? All right? So just take 1 minute and just talk to your friends and just talk about what we discussed. All right? Go. All right. That was 1 minute. All right, so let's quickly revise what we talked about. You want to approach someone calmly, and you want to be polite, and you can reach out to the front desk or anyone nearby to just, politely ask them if you can call your parents. All right? Okay, let's move on. So now we're going to talk about the different tools. Like what tools you can use to, if you get lost, what are some things that we can use? So now let's just take another maybe like 30 seconds. Just talk with the people around you and see, let's just brainstorm something like maybe a map or a phone, or what can you use for directions? What do you use for directions? All right. So I said 30 seconds, but let's take 1 minute. All right. So just discuss with your friends and, just talk about what you guys usually use for direction and navigation. All right. Start. Okay, my 1 minute is up. So let's talk about the different tools what you can use. So the first thing is a compass, right? Can talk about so a compass is kind of like how you tell when something is the difference between north, south, east, west, right? That's kind of how you tell the different directions using a compass, all right? So that's kind of what, sorry, 1 minute. So to refresh this real quick. All right. So sorry, let's start over again. Sorry for the interruption. But the first tool is a compass. So like I said before, a compass is kind of when you tell the different directions between north, south, east, west, right? Southeast, northeast, and this is a very useful tool if you don't have a map with you. If you don't have a map with you, then you have this as a backup tool so you can maybe tell where you're going based on the direction. So all you have to do is just hold the compass up, just hold it and it'll tell you exactly what direction you're facing. And if you kind of know your directions, or you should be knowing your directions between north, south, east, and west, you should be able to, maybe find your parents or find wherever you need to go if you get lost. So that is one tool. Another tool is a map, right? I'm pretty sure you guys have seen a map before, right? We see India right here, right? That's India. So, and you guys are right here, somewhere around here, right? So a map is a great tool to kind of show where places are, and if you're lost, you can try to use a map to try to figure out your location and figure out where you need to go. Maybe you can look at different landmarks. So like the Charminar is a very famous landmark, right? Everyone knows where that is. So maybe you can find the Charminar on the map and figure out where you need to go. So a map is a very useful resource. Another one is a phone. A lot of you guys are very young, so you guys probably do not have a phone yet. But technology, like now we have Apple Maps, Google Maps. So rather than having like a physical map that we said before, a lot of people just have a map on their phone, right? And it's nice because the phone is a lot easier to use. It'll tell you where you need to go. It can tell you when you need to take a right, left, how many miles you are, how many minutes, your speed limit, so to make sure you're not going too fast or too slow, So the Google Maps on your phone or Apple Maps on your phone is really, really helpful. It's like a map on your phone. All right. Ooh, another resource is other people, right? You can use other people like we talked before, right? When we talked about what you should do, what you should not do, we said ask someone for help, and we said to approach someone in a polite manner and politely ask them if you can call your parents. So you can definitely use other people if you need help and you're having trouble. So definitely, just stopping and politely asking, right? That's key. Politely asking and approaching a stranger. Just be careful, right? You can ask them where you are, where you need to go, and most likely they will help you. So, yeah, but just definitely be careful. So, other people is an awesome resource. Another major tool is yourself, right? I know that you're lost right now. You're having trouble going from one place to another, but I can assure you guys from the bottom of my heart that you guys know a lot more than what you guys think. A lot of people don't have much confidence in them or don't believe in them, but I'm telling you, if you guys, are calm, are not panicking, and taking a minute to yourself and really calm yourself down, you guys will be able to collect that information automatically in you. And before you know it, I'm telling you, you guys know a lot more than what you guys think, and you guys are super smart, and eventually you guys will find your way and navigate yourself to where you need to be. All right, so yourself is probably the biggest one because you need to rely on yourself, and you might not have everything with you. You might not have your phone, it could be out of battery. You might not have a physical map with you. So if you don't have all that stuff with you, like compass, then the best resource is yourself. So you guys know a lot more than you guys think. So really take the time to really figure out where you are, looking at the landmarks, being smart, and helping yourself find where you need to be. All right? All right, now it's time to practice. So some quick practice questions. But before we do that, let's take a quick, let's do 2 minutes this time. Let's take 2 minutes to just quickly revise what we talked about. Like, the different tools that we did. So we talked about 5 tools. So take 2 minutes to kind of, talk about those tools again. I can show the tools again real quick and see what, tell the people around you what that tool is for, right? So the first one is a compass, right? Compass tells you north, south, east, west, the difference between them, where you are. The other one is a physical map, right? To show where you are physically, where you are on the map, landmarks and stuff like that. Like the Charminar is a landmark. The other one is a phone, so like Google Maps, Apple Maps, anything like a map on the phone. Right, other people, being polite and asking other people. So other people is a great resource, but more importantly, yourself is probably the biggest resource of all of them. So yeah, these are the 5 tools we talked about. So why don't we take about 2 minutes and talk about those tools amongst other people, kind of describe what they are, and we can work from there. All right, so you guys have 2 minutes. Your time starts now. Alright, you guys have about 1 minute left, so 50 seconds left. There are more seconds left. Ten seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Alright, time's up. Alright, so remember your answers, okay? So what are the different tools again? Let's go back. The biggest one is yourself, right? Other people, right? You need yourself, because if you don't have anything, you need to rely on yourself. And I'm telling you, you guys are a lot smarter than you guys think. So definitely yourself is probably the biggest resource, or it is the biggest resource. Next one is other people, right? You want to politely approach other people and ask them for help and directions. The other one is your phone, right? I know you guys are young, but once you guys get a bit older and once you guys, get a phone, then the maps on your phone is very helpful. Right, again, a physical map. If you guys don't have a phone, then a physical map is the way to go. And then lastly, a compass, right? Just hold it up and I'll tell you the difference between north, south, east, west, the different directions, and tell you where you guys are. Alright, so those are the tools. Time for quick practice. So question is, what is one tool that we discussed? I know we just talked about it, right? So it's one tool that we have been discussing, or what are the different tools? So I'll give you guys about 5 minutes, just talk about the tools again, maybe come up with other tools, like different types of tools of what we can use. All right, so 5 minutes starts now. Guys have about like 3 more minutes left. About 1 minute left. Alright. So let's see, what are the different tools, right? Oh, so that's the answer, right? We talked about compass, map, phone, other people, and yourself, right? So again, right, compass helps with telling the difference between north, south, east, west, and you just have to hold it up and it's going to tell you. Another one is, right, your map, physical map, knowing the different landmarks, figuring out where you are. Another one is your phone, right, the online maps, like Apple Maps, Google Maps. Another one would be other people, right? Just asking other people for help and, being polite and asking yourself, right? Because yourself is the biggest tool. But yeah, and other extra ones could be like a GPS. Like a GPS is kind of the same thing as like an online map, like on your phone. But yeah, good job, guys. So, next question. How should you approach someone if you need help? All right, we'll take about 5 minutes. Again, just talk to the people around you and how should you approach someone if you need help? Ready, steady, go. All right, time is up. So this is the answer, right? So you want to approach someone in a very polite manner and politely ask them if you can call your parents. You can also again find the main office or main place, like the front of the temple, and you can ask for parents as well. But the main thing is to be nice and be careful, right? Don't be afraid, don't panic, and just ask someone for help politely. All right, good job. And now it's time for the last question. Right now, we're going to talk about what you should not do. So now take again 5 minutes, just talk about what you should not do. And again, you guys can talk about what you should do. And, like we talked about this. So just talk to the people around you and answer this question, all right? You guys have 5 minutes. Ready? Let's go. All right, you guys have about 1 minute left. That was 5 minutes, right? So let's talk about what we should not do. So this is the answer, right? You should not panic. So do not panic. It's going to make you even more scared. So just stay calm and think smartly and wisely. So you want to approach people with caution. So you want to be careful because you still want to be safe. So yeah, this is some things that you should not do. So don't be scared. Don't panic. Stay calm and just think smartly and wisely and approach people with caution. So just be careful, all right? So yeah, and that's it for our practice, all right? So now it's time for homework, right? So it's like a very short, small, fun writing assignment. So let's see what the homework is about. Ready? Help. So someone you know got lost at a park and is panicking. So write down a short paragraph of what they can do and what they should not do, right? So some things that they should do is, be polite, ask other people politely about how they can approach, like how to politely approach someone when they're asking other people for help. What you should not do is don't panic, don't be scared, right? And just include the different types of tools, like the navigation tools like map, compass, yourself, other people, phone, right? Google Maps, GPS, all that stuff. And then what you should do and include what you should do, what you should not do, the different tools in your response, okay? Like a small paragraph, a small writing assignment. All right? Okay, so now these are the key takeaways, right? So we talked about help, right? You want to be calm, stay safe, be polite, right? You want to have caution and don't panic, right? The different types of tools, compass, map, phone, other people, yourself, like compass helps know the difference between north, south, east, west. The physical map, to know like the landmarks such as Charminar and figure out where you need to go from there. Your phone, like the online apps, like the online map, Google Maps, Apple Maps, stuff like that. Other people, politely ask other people. And again, yourself, right? Because you need to rely on yourself the most, and you guys know a lot more with you guys think, so don't worry. Right, and then we practiced, right? We understood the different types of tools, what to do, what not to do. And the homework again was just a short paragraph describing what to do and what not to do, and the different tools to help your friend, right? Again, you want to help a friend that you know that got lost at a park and is panicking. Just write down a short paragraph of what they can do, what not to do. It's like 5 sentences. And it's include the different types of tools, what again you should do, what you should not do, and stuff like that. Alright? But that's it for today. So if there's any questions, comments, or concerns, definitely reach out to your teacher, and your teacher can reach out to us in the Spoken English group. And if you guys have any questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. And yes, thank you guys. Today was the end of the lesson, and I hope you guys really enjoyed today's lesson. I enjoyed teaching you guys about the different navigation tools, what you should do, what not do, and yeah. Alright, I'll see you guys next time, alright?